Hi, Dave Jack here, Superintendent of Fauquier County Public Schools with another edition of One Hard Question. This week's question, excuse me, comes from Letitia. And Letitia asked the following: why has the county decided to cut 7th grade music instruction in favor of the wheel, which students have already experienced in 6th grade and in prior years? Please note this question is important because students who have specifically chosen music are now being shortchanged and will have be much less prepared for higher level instruction in music or even music assessments that are required. Thanks, Letitia, for the question. Honestly, I was somewhat reluctant to answer this question only because it was asked a few times last year. And I guess on at least one or two occasions I answered it through One Hard Question. But the background, of course, is this is a subject that predates me. When I came to my first public hearing in February or March of 2013, before I started, this was the subject of the public hearing. A lot of energy, a lot of passion about the middle school music schedule, the middle school schedule in general. From that point forward, there was sort of this renewed effort on the part of Dr. Mitchell, senior staff, parents, etc., to examine middle school schedules, figure out what the most equitable approach would be, and ultimately come up with a proposal that scratched the largest number of itches, that met the most number of needs. And what I mean by that is there were concerns expressed about at that time and before about why this middle school schedules weren't the same, why a middle school student who took music beginning in 6th grade didn't have opportunities to take art, business, technology, etc. So these were legitimate questions. Plus, math and English instruction. The feeling was there wasn't enough time for math and English instruction. So the charge was to fix all those things and address those needs and come up with a proposal that people could live with. And that involved Dr. Mitchell, senior staff, parents. This is following a meeting at Auburn Middle School where this was the hot topic. Some parents joined the forces, trying to come up with an equitable solution. And what we came up with, I think, is pretty good. So this proposal was shared at a couple board meetings last year. I ultimately, came out at one of the meetings supporting the approach that we have now. And I want to mention also, and this is important, that middle school is supposed to be a time for exploration. Middle school is the concept behind middle school, one of them anyway, is that students are exposed to different things and ultimately perhaps hooked in one direction or the other, and perhaps as they go into high school, they maybe follow that thing because they were exposed to it in middle school and found interest, art, technology, business, etc. Having said that, keep in mind that music instruction still represents 72 weeks of instruction for a 6th, 7th, and 8th graders who follow music through middle school. They're still going to receive 72 weeks of instruction. Compare that to technology, 18 weeks, business, 18 weeks, art, 18 weeks, foreign language, 54 weeks. The only non-core area with more instructional time dedicated to it than music is physical education, and there are state requirements with physical education. Students have to participate in X number of hours of physical education instruction a week. It's a state requirement. So I think what we came up with was a good, equitable solution. I'm not surprised that it came up. I shouldn't be surprised that it came up again this fall because people are busy and perhaps the information that was being tossed around last year perhaps didn't reach some homes. That's fine. That's normal. But what I'm hearing so far has been very positive about the middle school schedule. And I've also heard from Dr. Mitchell that it looks like our 7th grade music numbers are actually up. And I think probably that's because these students realize that if they take music as 7th graders, they won't be kept out of taking art or technology, whatever the other courses there are that they might be interested in. So hope this answers your question, and please keep the questions coming. Thanks very much.